Welcome to the Traveling Healer podcast, a podcast where we interview healers, practitioners, and thought leaders in the field of healing, where we push your boundaries and beliefs in what is truly possible in healing.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Traveling Healer podcast. Today we're in Peru in a place called Pisac. But behind us is the restaurant at Milissawasi, which is a bed and breakfast in Pisac in Peru. And I'm with Marie from France.
Yes.
I don't know how to pronounce your name fully, so how do you say your name fully?
Laure Teyssedre.
Okay.
But you can call me Marie.
Marie,
It's
yeah,
fine,
it's good. So Marie's a distance healer, and she's staying in Peru, and she's traveling after to Bolivia and where else, sorry? Chile, yeah. And she's actually doing distance healing for clients around the world while she's here. So I thought that was pretty fascinating, and I've seen distance healing done before. I've had it done for me as well, and including from Marie. So I think that it really works, and I've seen some cases that it really works. So I think it would be great to share with people what distance healing is and what can be done, really. Yeah, just to open people's perspectives. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I work as an energy healer.
Yeah.
And so, as you know, when you work on energy healing, you work about the energy body.
Yes.
So for me, basically, your physical presence doesn't change much.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you feel a little more when you're physically present when I heal, but even in distance, I plugged in the energy body of my clients. And so him being here or not doesn't change much.
Really?
Actually, when I work in distance healing with my clients, they can tell when I start. Most of them can tell where I work, what they feel inside, and it always corresponds to what I'm working on.
Yeah.
And they all know when I finish.
Wow, cool.
Either they will wake up, or they will get out of their meditation by themselves, or something will happen, and it's exactly the time where I finish work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Is that what happened the other day when I messaged you? It was pretty much around
Yes.
about, yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
Jamie
cool.
tasted it, tried it,
Yeah.
and he said, "Oh, I woke up at 9," and I said, "Well, that's 5 minutes later the time I finished."
I was thinking, it must be ready now, and I was like, maybe I'll stay for a little bit longer, but it was pretty much just after that, so that's fascinating. So do you get all your clients to lie down while you do distance healing, or does it depend on
No, it depends what my client asks for.
Yeah.
Well, it has been a process to become only that distance healing. First, I was a healer like one-to-one, like you are actually. Yes. Yeah. And then I developed some other skill and also it has been a time in my life where I had too many people. I told you that, right?
Yeah, too many clients.
Yeah, too many clients. So I started helping other healers to develop. And then I had many people too. And so now I really work on helping being healers, entrepreneurs, or artists to develop their energy field. And so they will increasing their energy field potential. They will develop their own self, and they also will develop financially and energetically and give a better impact for the planet.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. I mean, if you're helping those sort of people, you're making a bigger impact, aren't you? So.
Well, the fact is that I could receive in my practice like 40% per or 30% per week. But that was a lot, and now if I help 10 or 15% to help 30%, then I help more person.
Exactly. That's awesome.
And so from one-to-one, I started distance I work by Skype, so it can be a conversation, like coaching, or I use also different techniques like EFT and other ones, and also I use what I learned in the Brennan school, you know, in the States.
Yep.
And so
it's we'll talk about that a bit more.
Okay, if you want.
Yeah, let's talk about your you said that you weren't a healer, you were like a business person.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, can you talk us through like your journey into did you actually believe in in healing back then? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know, not really.
Yeah.
Well, it came back to my mind later. It means I did a MBA, Business Administration, and I was in international companies as a marketing manager and communication for 15 years or something like that.
How long ago was that?
15 other years, I guess.
Wow, yeah. Okay.
But some get mixed, you know. There was a part where I was doing both.
Yeah.
And so one day I was feeling really bad myself, and I needed help, but I didn't want to go. I didn't want to take allopathic medicine. I didn't want to take pills.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go into psychotherapy because it would take years. So I tried something different. I saw an ad, or I don't even remember how it happened, but I went to somebody who was doing hands-on energy healing.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, and the guy in 6 months, so I was going there, I think every week or something, helped me get rid of a problem I had since 20 years.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. My mental was like, how come it works? How come nobody speaks about it?
Yeah.
And that's amazing. So I started reading books about what this guy was doing.
Yeah.
And I was discovering a new world. So I continued going to him to learn. And then I took a first course and a second course, and I read more books, and I took more course, whatever, And then I started with some course like Reiki.
Yeah, Reiki.
That was my entering door. And at one point I started teaching it, and I learned how to use flowers and how to use plants.
Yeah.
And then I learned EFT, and everything was great, but it wasn't fitting my business mind. Like, how do I explain what I do?
Yeah.
And so I went to this school I found over the internet, a school named Brennan School of Healing. So it's in the States, and this woman wrote 2 books which were sold all over the world, millions. One of them is called Hands of Light.
Ends of Light?
Yes.
Oh, Hands of Light.
Hands of Light, yes.
Hands of Light, yeah.
And the other, sorry, my French accent.
Yeah, it's okay.
And the other one is called Light Emerging. And so she used to be a physician at NASA. And so
NASA?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and she studied the human energy field. So that fitted my principle of I want to know what I do. I was doing Reiki, and when people were telling me what exactly are you doing, it was impossible for me to answer. So that was not good for me.
Yeah.
And so I went to this school, and that was really, really nice, because I could learn how to work on the first level of the aura, how that works, second level of the aura, how that works, how can you repair everything, blah blah blah, and so forth.
Yeah.
So it was a 4 year school. And after that I changed work, I was still in the business area while I was studying.
Yeah.
And then it happened by itself. Life made that I had to quit the job, and so I started doing what I love.
Yeah. That's awesome. I forgot to mention as well, Mary's, you've written 8 books.
Yes, but I think you said it at the beginning.
I don't know. I can't remember.
It was part of the, I'm passionate about energy healing. You know that now.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, me too.
Yes, so that's why we met, I think. Yes.
Exactly, yeah.
And so I wanted to let people know more oh, it works. My understanding of it. So I started. Actually, I did my first book. I didn't even write books. I was my clients asked me for days of teaching.
Yeah.
And so I did. What did you learn today? Book. And so one day for fun I sent it to a publisher, and he took both.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh wow, I'm getting published, but I it was, I sent them for fun.
Yeah.
So I think that was my path now.
Yeah.
And so then the next one I wrote them consciously, like to share what I know about energy.
Cool.
And so my 7th, there is one to be released soon, but it's in French.
Yeah, it's in French.
I have 2 translated, one in German, one in Spanish.
Oh wow.
And so now I'm starting to write self-help novels.
Okay.
So one is in French. My first one is in French. My second one that I'm writing now will take place in Peru.
Cool.
Yes. And one is about to be, I hope, released in the States, but it's
in English.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is your goal to translate all your books to English maybe, or?
I'm not. I don't have a lot of control on that.
Oh, okay.
Because the publisher does it.
Yeah. Okay.
Except the first novel, I don't know. Okay. Once they're released, the book have their own life.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, it's unfortunate because I can't read French.
I'm sorry.
But I can share your books in the links below if anyone wants to read French or.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you have some Canadian watcher who speak English and French.
Yeah, exactly. So, what are some of the things that people come to for the most for help with?
It changed a lot over the years.
Yeah.
First it was because they're not feeling good in their body or their emotion. First it was for depression or for illness or injury. Mm-hmm. And now that's not the case. Now I really help people, as I told you, entrepreneurs. And what I like as well is that I have some people with a very high study background, so they're all very mental as I used to be.
Yeah.
And so I like showing them how energy can help them relax and develop in other ways than only the mindset.
Yeah.
And that when you use both, then you grow a lot bigger.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I mean, there's a lot of people that are already open.
Yeah. So I have a lot of coach.
Yeah.
A lot of therapists.
Therapy.
Yeah.
Oh, therapists. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have some artists.
Yeah.
And I also have people setting up their practice in whatever field that can be.
Would you be able to maybe give us some examples of some amazing things you've seen with distance healing?
Oh.
Have you got anything that you can think of?
Yes, I have a lot. But all my testimonials are in French almost.
Yeah.
On my website. But I don't know, some people would come to me and say, well, I don't feel secure financially in my practice because one day I earn that amount and one day I earn that amount. And so I have some people with practicing energy healing on themselves and setting their intention and working in different dimensions of their being.
Okay.
Would go from 1,000 a month to 10,000 the next month.
Wow.
And stay there.
Really?
Because I help them work on their limiting belief.
Yeah.
And also I help them learn how to get their energy, where to get it from, how to use it properly in order to set their intention and develop from that. Also, I help people, like for instance, they have one business and it works a bit, and then I help them align with their true self, what really they came for, and so it starts flourishing all of a sudden. And I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really rewarding. I see my clients, they came to me with no clients, and now I see them on the internet helping so many people. It's amazing.
Yeah. So good.
And I also help them go past their fear. Like for instance, if I increase my rates, I won't have any more clients. Or if I'm afraid to present myself because I don't like selling myself. And so we work through all this fear. Actually, it's self-development for people helping others. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I should get a session later.
Well, you had for some other reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a car accident a week ago, or
Yes.
a week and a half ago.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's been a quiet week recovering.
Yeah.
But I'm almost there, so it's good.
So how was it to receive sessions? What was
Great. Yeah, I mean, lifted my energy more. Yeah.
Okay.
Felt lighter, and my thoughts have come back a lot more. So I had concussion. Yeah,
Yes.
So yeah, that's probably like one of the hardest things that's ever happened to me.
Yes.
I
It
just
was a huge car accident.
didn't realize how bad it was at first, and then after a few days, I was like, oh no, I actually can't work. I can't really do anything. I just stayed home and.
Well,
yeah,
you
so.
had to relax.
Yeah, exactly. So something was giving me a sign that I needed to chill out, maybe. So you got into healing. Yeah, so it's been about 15 years you've been healing now.
Yes.
15 years, yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
A little bit more than that. It just crossed over. I started my first Reiki lesson like in 1917 or so. It's like 20 years. But I started giving.
Yeah.
And also maybe it was more than that.
Yeah.
Maybe in 1998 maybe I started.
Okay.
So it's more than 7.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
20 years maybe.
Yeah.
Getting
And
there.
that I live from it fully.
Yeah.
It's oops.
Branch is
Just-
falling down.
Yes. It's that I fully live from it. It's like 10 years.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I mean, it was inspiring to hear that you can work a couple of days a week.
Yes.
And you've got too many clients. Like you said that you can't take any more clients on for
Up to 2 months or 3
yeah,
months
and-
now.
Yeah, 2 or 3 months away.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
it's also
awesome.
because as I'm traveling now, I so I'm traveling with my daughter.
Yeah.
So we are the two of us living on my healing practice.
Yeah.
And I want to enjoy where I am, so I want to have time to visit, and so I decided to cut my days of working as 2 days.
2 days.
Well,
yeah,
2 days with clients because I also write. So,
Yeah.
but usually I write at night when she sleeps. So, yeah, and that's enough. So people wait for me.
Yeah.
That's good.
You must be doing something good.
Yes.
It's like that's cool. What advice would you have for other healers that are struggling, or they're just struggling to get by with the amount of income they're getting, and maybe they're not getting enough clients, or
Well, I help them.
yeah. Exactly.
But what I would say is like, well, you can do it. I mean, it's all about. That's what I teach. It's all about what you believe. Like for instance, people would say, when you set up a company, you need 3 years in order to have enough clients to live from it.
Yeah.
When I started, I decided I wouldn't be able to wait 3 years. I gave myself 6 months.
Wow.
And it worked. after 6 months I was having a living enough to live properly. It wasn't the standard I wanted to, so it took me another 6 months, but I could live properly after 6 months. So if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
I don't have any superpower more than everybody else.
I mean, every healer needs to work on themselves a lot, you
Yes.
know, and then, you know, the more balanced you become, the more you can handle, and the more different cases you know, of different things you can see.
And that's what I like as well, because sometimes you finish your training of being a healer, and depending of the training you did, then you have or not supervision, and you have or not, you know, you continue working, but not on yourself, you work on your clients. And every client gives you some more materials to work on yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so that's what I do basically, helping the healers or the coach, or you know, to work on themselves so they can attract more people who correspond to who they really are.
Yeah.
You know.
That's so cool. So, how do people get hold of you if they do want to see you?
Well, I have a website.
Yeah.
So my website is in French, but I speak English, well, with my terrible French accent.
Yeah.
And
No, it's not that bad. It's pretty good.
and Spanish as well, because
Yeah.
I used to live in Chile for some years.
Yeah.
And so, well, you go on my website, and I have a Facebook page and a LinkedIn page too.
Yeah.
But basically on my website you register and you have a half an hour free session. So
Cool.
we can speak, and I can say if you know, then people can feel if they want to work with me.
Yeah.
And I can feel if I want to work with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then I can start answering their question. And once this is done, they decide.
Yeah.
This is free, no engagement, nothing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. I think the last thing we'll finish off with is, what do you think is possible? What is possible in distance healing? Like, is there a limit? Like, what can be done?
Oh, I don't know. It depends what you ask for. Like, for instance, I was sharing yesterday with our common friends. Like, I can. So now I don't work on specific injuries.
Yeah.
But distance healing, recently, like a week ago, I had a woman asking me, and she had a problem or
A wrist.
a wrist.
Yeah.
And so distance, I can feel where is the scar.
Wow.
And I can feel the energy bodies, but it's just I learned it.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
know,
Yeah.
it's like if I would have gone to a medicine school and you say, oh, you have a red spot here, and you would tell me this is this illness, and I would say no, it's this illness, because I've learned it. So I have learned to watch distance, and so I could feel where it started broken, and I started working on it.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know what is the limit. It's just, I have to say, it's a process.
Yes.
Your sessions are a process too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's not a magic wand.
Yeah.
So, for instance, I don't do one session, or I can do when people is in the hospital, and then it's urgent.
Yeah.
What I started do with you, actually. Yeah. But if not, I don't do that. I help people for 3 months or 6 months or a year period.
Yeah.
And so it's a process.
Yeah.
Because then I can explain them why this is happening. What we did last time is what makes this happening now, and so we go. How do you say that? Increasing together.
Yes.
It's a team.
Team effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Does that answer your question, or?
Yep. I mean, from what I'm learning on this journey, like seeing what is possible, like almost every month I'm like it's a new possibility, you know.
Okay.
So it's I'm sure I'll talk
Well,
about it a bit
me,
more,
when I met you
yeah.
over the internet,
Yeah.
what really, it was the first time when I quit France like a month and a half ago, that I was taking the risk to do healing and traveling, which is my other passion. And when I saw your name, the traveling healer, I was like, wow, you know, his name is exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
And that I would never have dared to do, you know, especially with my daughter.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was really inspiring to me that you were saying that.
Yeah, and you're doing it already, so...
Well, yes, I'm doing it now, but
Yeah,
I had
now.
never claimed it that big before.
Yeah. That's cool, it's cool.
So, you know, it's also to show that you can have several passions and mix them together and be happy with it.
Exactly. Oh, thank you so much for
thank you.
coming on the podcast, and I'll be putting it up in the next week, hopefully. So.
Yes!
Cool,
My first interview in English. Take care. Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see some more, you can subscribe down below. You can also find all these episodes on iTunes and SoundCloud. If you want to check out my blog on my website, www.thetravelinghealer.com, I'll be sharing my learnings, my journey, and some interesting times, such as going to see John of God in Brazil. So if you want to check that out, that's cool. I'll put my links down for Facebook and Instagram if you want to follow me there as well. So thanks again for watching, and see you at the next one. The information on this podcast is no substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of a physician or other qualified health provider. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something that you have heard on this podcast.